Hello there! Look at this useful tool. This is a hand marking gauge. It is used to quickly draw parallel lines on bars, boards, and sheets of plywood and MDF. When drawing one or two lines, of course, you can get by with a simple ruler, but when drawing a large number of lines, a marking gauge is simply irreplaceable. In woodworking, parallelism is very important, so catch how to make such a tool. To begin, take 2 regular wooden rulers and a piece of beam 3 centimeters wide. Saw off 8 10 centimeters of beam. This will be the basis for your marking gauge. Then saw off 2 4 centimeter pieces from the first ruler. Draw perpendicular lines in the middle of the beam, between which the second ruler will be located. Apply 2 drops of glue to the beam and place the sawn pieces of the first ruler on them, and place the second ruler tightly between them. Do not apply too much glue, so as not to glue the second ruler to something. Fix your gluing with clamps. Take a piece of laminate and cut off 10 centimeters. Mark the center and drill a 7 millimeter diameter hole. Carefully soak the hole with superglue to strengthen the laminate. Take an 8 millimeter diameter tap and cut a thread in the hole. Be sure to clean the laminate from burrs, if any. Take sandpaper and thoroughly scratch the inner smooth surface of laminate for better adhesion of glue. After gluing the ruler pieces to the beam, remove the clamps and apply 2 drops of glue on top of the ruler pieces. Put the laminate on the beam and secure your gluing with clamps. After the glue dries, remove the clamps and drill the laminate and the ruler pieces with a 2 millimeter drill. After drilling, hammer 2 millimeter diameter nails into the holes. The nails should not be too long so as not to go through the beam. After that, saw off the extra pieces of the formed sandwich and the protruding pieces of the ruler. For this operation, it is better to use a jigsaw with a thin saw blade. Sand the sawed areas on a grinder or manually with sandpaper. Take the second ruler and make a small cut at the 0 mark. This is where a pencil rod will rest. At the other end, drill a hole of 8 10 millimeters. You can hang the gauge through it. Now insert the ruler into the gauge and fix it with a bolt of 8 millimeter diameter. How to make such a bolt is shown in my video about woodworking life hacks. As a result, we have a tool like this. The principle of operation is very simple. Slightly unscrew the clamping bolt, extend the ruler to the desired length and screw the bolt back. Then simply rest the gauge with the flat part against the board, place the rod of the pencil or pen on the 0 mark of the ruler and pull the gauge and pencil along your board. In this simple way, you can easily and quickly draw any number of parallel lines on boards, on sheets of plywood or MDF. If you made a mistake and drew a line at the wrong distance, you can easily erase it and draw a new one. However, in addition to the advantage of easy manufacturing, such a gauge has its obvious disadvantages. The most obvious disadvantage is you have to use both hands to move the tool. With one hand, you move the gauge itself, and with the other hand, a pencil or pen. If your board or plywood sheet is too light, it will shift when you move the gauge and you will not be able to draw a line. In such cases, the board will have to be additionally fixed with something. To use just one hand, this gauge can be easily modified. For example, for marking the tenon mortise joints, it is better not to draw the markings, but to scratch them out. Such markings do not wear off and are more accurate due to their thin lines. To do this, instead of a ruler, a curved and sharpened metal strip is inserted into the gauge. To make one, take out a wooden ruler and transfer its dimensions to sheet metal of the same thickness. First, paint over the metal with a marker, and then trace the ruler with a metal scriber. On one side of the outline, draw a small bevel to get something like a knife. Cut the metal strip using an angle grinder or other available method. After cutting, be sure to align the edges of the strip. It is important that the two longitudinal edges are parallel to each other. Also, make sure that the width of the strip does not become less than the width of the wooden ruler. After aligning the sides, be sure to remove the metal burrs with a file and sandpaper. Next, place the file on the table and run the beveled side of the strip over it several times. Do this until the very tip of the bevel is sharp enough to scratch the wood. For better aesthetics, you can also clean the surface with a file and sandpaper. After sanding, step back from the edge about 1 centimeter. Clamp the strip in a vise and bend it at 90 degrees with a hammer. After the vise, finish the bend on the anvil. Then drill an 8 mm hole on the other side of the strip for hanging. After drilling, be sure to remove the burrs. On this step, the modification of your gauge is completed. This principle is also simple. Slightly unscrew the clamping bolt, extend the metal strip to the desired length, rest the gauge with the flat part against the board, and move it along. Then you can draw it with a pencil for better visibility. The advantage of a scratch is that such marking is more accurate than just a pencil. And when knocking out the joints, the tip of the chisel is well positioned along the scratch, as if along a guide. But it is important to remember, this type of drawing does not forgive mistakes. If you make a mistake and draw a scratch in the wrong place, it will be almost impossible to hide it. So which drawing method is more convenient for you? Decide for yourself. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.